Hey everybody, welcome back to In Reality. It was Ava kind of says that she's the one creating the power issues in order to do certain things and talk to Caleb about what she wanted. And you kind of get an idea of like, where is that going to go? Who is that? Is it her actually doing it, or is Nathan setting it up? Or, you know, what's the issue there? What's going on? And it's kind of difficult to understand exactly what the issue is and who's creating it. So that presents a problem in itself. And I don't know. It's really interesting that they created that as a method in the film to allow them to speak, Ava and Caleb. I'm speaking of, because they're always being watched on the cameras,
which is also a big deal.
Yeah.
So Nathan has cameras everywhere in his house.
Yeah.
And he sees quite a bit, and trying to find a place and or space off camera is very difficult in the house of Nathan. So these blackouts kind of created that situation where they could talk.
Yeah.
And even then, Nathan planted a remote camera, spoiler alert, in Ava's room to catch some of that dialogue next time it happened.
Yeah.
But that it's very interesting. So he was very observant of her, knowing that she was going to go above and beyond, you know, in those moments of radio silence. So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
that she took the one thing that he needed most, power, right? Like electrical grid power.
Yeah,
because of the way that he designed her and designed her charging plate, she was able to reverse power and shut down the entire home, facility, mansion, manor, I don't know what the hell you would call it, the estate, for several minutes at a time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was speaking of. You get the idea that maybe Nathan was doing it the entire time, and Caleb doesn't know,
right?
And he's speaking to Ava, and Nathan's watching it the whole time.
Yeah.
But
it's another thing. You don't know who's like first who's blacking out or who's doing what.
So it's hard to find who has control in this house.
Yeah.
Does Nathan have control? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Does Nathan have control because he built this AI and he knows how much she can do, and because he created her, he should know exactly what her capabilities are.
Right.
Or does she have control because she doesn't see him as smart as he thinks he is?
Right.
Or does Caleb have control because he's in the middle and he's able to facilitate things? And you don't really see him as having a lot of control. And it certainly doesn't appear like it throughout most of the film.
Not at all. Fucking
but
wimp,
he's gonna try to his death to find to
so
get that control.
Nathan gut checks him real good, right? Just gives him like a good, just like a good little uppercut, right to the solar plexus. Fucking Caleb drops, man. Fucking Caleb drops hard, man.
Yeah, because this guy is like this guy Nathan is like in his solitude and in doing nothing all day.
Yeah, he just works out,
researching. Yeah. He works out a lot.
Yeah, and Caleb is just like one of his employees who gets paid, 1% of a quarter of 1,000th of percent of his salary.
Yeah,
and sits in a fucking chair and codes all day. So when he gets gut checked, this motherfucker falls like Sam Bradford with a goddamn toe-up ACL after winning a Heisman. He just goes down. Black Hawk down. And he's down for several minutes of film. Like, he misses all the fucking action at the end. It ain't until Ava, right, goes up over there and finds him. It was like, hey, white boy, you all right? And then
Yeah,
yeah. Which leads to me is like the most. It really boggled the shit out of me for so long. I actually had to think about it for a very long time. We fast forward near to the end here, and right after he gets gut checked, Ava escapes, finds him, passed the fuck out. He'd never been hit before in his life. He just took a few $1 billion to the fucking gut, to the jejunum. And she wakes him up. She looks around. She's never left her room also, by the way, throughout the whole story, the plot, or career of her digital life.
As far as we know, what we see.
So she's looking around. She tells Caleb, stay here or wait here. She gets up. She walks around Nathan's room. And Nathan has these special closets where he keeps all of his old androids. So they're all sitting there and just kind of hung up like fucking dry clean. You know, it's a little weird. It's a little unearthing, right? You definitely think he's in some Charles Manson shit. But again, they're not human, so is it such a big deal? Keep spare parts. You know, we don't fucking yell at a mechanic for this kind of shit. So she sees one of the women, and she touches her, feels their skin, and she looks at herself again, all circuits and gears and motors, and she starts peeling the skin off of her because they come in these little fragmented pieces, and starts putting it on herself. Mm. And begins outfitting herself to look more human. And she does that for several minutes, even changes clothes. And before you know it, she's just looking very beautiful, naked. But I didn't feel it wasn't like a very sexual type of thing because she was a robot for so long. We'd seen her as a robot, and now to see her as a human, it's like, yeah, you're human, but I know you're still a robot, and I don't, you know.
But she doesn't want anybody else to know that.
Yeah, and so and then what fucked me up the hardest. So this is like the score of this movie is also very, very well done. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of ominous tones and just I really feel like I'm in somebody's head here. I'm just psychological thriller style. Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with Michael Jackson Thriller. Very different score. And then she just leaves, and Caleb is locked inside of this fucking house.
Yeah.
And she just left his ass. And it's like, oh, fuck. I thought she loved him.
Yeah.
Because Nathan was saying, yo, she's never felt like this about a guy. I think she really likes you. Gassing him up. She didn't give two fucks about him.
Yeah.
And
she wanted her way out.
Yeah, and I was like, well, why would she even bother going to say, wait here or whatever, if you're just going to leave him? Then I realized she never been upstairs before, or to this Nathan's room. She didn't know that there was another body there she could salvage and make herself human. So I thought she needed Caleb to leave the facility and continue being human, or, to help her navigate the human world. Mm-hmm. And when she realized that she didn't anymore, like a binary decision which computers make, she just cut his ass off.
Yeah, left him.
And cut that bitch out. And it just crushed my whole psyche because they spent so much time talking about how human she was.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? I felt like I got played. I felt like she left me in the kitchen. I was like, whoa.
It was definitely hard to watch him struggle with that. I mean, he let her take advantage of him at a whole different level.
And that was the test to see if Ava can manipulate a human.
And she really did.
Holy fuck. She manipulated a human, a robot, her fucking owner, master. Yo, she was like Django in that motherfucking dog. She just...
The real question is, so what happens after that? Because now she got into the helicopter. Now she goes and has to create this whole life for herself, and she's not just going to see the person that created her and this other guy who saw her from a wall and was doing a research experiment on her and experimenting and talking like he had to. That was his job.
Mm-hmm. And he was a dick also. Inherently a dick. He's an engineer, so you already know he's a fucking dick.
He tried really hard to catch her, how am I going to get her today,
Right, yeah. So any spare moment he had, he was, trying to pick at her brain, see what she was thinking, see how she was thinking, the logic of it all. And you would think, as the owner, CEO, president, and, overall badass of this Google-like company, he would, have all this shit figured out by now. And this is, they didn't really say how many iterations they had done of Ava.
They didn't. No.
But you got the impression it was
quite a few.
Quite, yeah. Motherfucker, you got a closet full of dead bitches' skin. You've been at it for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you would think, by the time you built the Ferrari, he'd know how to fix a Mustang. But apparently, that GT 500 was no motherfucking joke. It just took off on his ass. And
so now she has to go through
the human world as like an immortal being.
The real world, as an immortal being,
crazy.
And also as somebody who can't reproduce or can't. She has no ability to create anything else of herself except to be the
or to build
AI that she is.
To build another AI.
Yeah.
So
if she somehow gets the knowledge and becomes that smart,
I think she's already that smart because I'm not sure. So there's a few things kind of left to the fuzzy details here. Mm-hmm. Does Ava know and or have the schematics of her own body?
Right.
If she does, then yes, she could, in theory, reproduce herself. Mm-hmm. If she knows, what materials she needs. She obviously is only one of very few motherfuckers that knows where this guy lives and knows where to get all the parts. Mm-hmm. He damn sure ain't use them anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of very fuzzy details there, but I feel like, she could produce herself and do this over and over again. We see a kind of a glimpse of what this would be in Star Trek, The Next Generation TV show. Data, an android, AI, creates another android. Mm-hmm. Gives it a name. Lets the android make its own life decisions. And it's like, well, how did he do that? Well, because this, he's really smart. One day he just got up and said, fuck it, I'm going to build my own self-a-child. So there's no reason I feel like Ava could not or would not do the same.
Yeah, like she can kind of even take off some of that skin and look at her own schematics in a way.
Or just go back to the house and just, reprogram one of the old bots. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot, would, shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff there. But the fact that she escaped and eluded, such this masterminded plot against her says a lot. And the fact that she is not going to age, and the fact that she's so damn brilliant, it's like, wow, who the fuck is going to stop her? She's like...
But if she wants
she's like Jay-Z, Kanye, Beyonce, Madonna, and all the best parts of fucking Suge Knight and Lil Wayne. Like, she's just fucking unstoppable, dude.
But if she wants to be human so bad, don't you think that she'd want to age?
No, because I don't think she wants to be human. Why would you? So the whole time we were seeing things, feeling sympathy and empathy for her because she wanted to be a human, right? No, she wanted to get the fuck out, kill the humans, and just be her own being. I don't think she wanted to be human. I think she just wanted others to think that so that she could more easily manipulate them.
But the way that she was looking at the skin made it seem to me like she had this idea of being human, that she wanted so badly to have the skin and to age, because she's looking at the skin, she puts it on, and she's looking at herself in the mirror, looking at her features, and she wanted it so bad. And I can only imagine that when she goes out and sees other people with other skin colors, skin types, aged skin, younger, well, I guess she has pretty young skin. But, I can only imagine that she's going to want to experience all of that other type of stuff. And
well, like you said, she just grabbed the skin.
Right.
What's to stop her from just grabbing or just changing and altering the texture of the skin? And